So, suburbia does not really exist in China. I would say it's mostly rural towns. And within the urban areas of China, they have these apartment complexes. So, pretty much all of the urban living, the people living in these cities, are in these large apartment complexes. And that's what people consider homes in China. When somebody says, I'm going to buy a house in China, it means they're buying a flat, usually. They're buying an apartment. And these apartments can be very large, but usually there are one story apartments. And that's how people usually live. So the idea of suburbia having a home, having a lawn, having neighbors, it doesn't really exist within Chinese society unless it's a very special kind of environment, neighborhood that was built probably near a larger city. But here you can see this is what normal rural farming town looks like. Nothing special, but I would say nothing too different from what you might see in your own country, depending on where you're from. Okay, here is a Buddhist temple that was actually in my girlfriend's rural hometown. So when I say rural hometown, it means the hometown that people come to during Chinese New Year to celebrate and see all of their extended family. For some reason, this Buddhist temple was closed during COVID and it never reopened. Um, so, yes, this is considered a rural hometown because this is where extended family is from. This is where they come from. And so, community becomes a tenet of society, a very large part of the society that exists in most rural areas in China. People know everyone, and people are usually related to other people in that town by some degree of relations. So when everyone knows everyone and when families are so close, and considering what has happened in China for the last decade, I mean, many decades, which would be the one child policy. Hoarding money for Chinese families is a regular practice because what they see when they hoard their money for multiple generations, in fact, is they save enough money for their own child, who is the only child, to buy these objects like a house, a car, and even for marriage, for dowry, and for but in China it's the opposite. It's actually bride price, which means the men actually have to pay money to the bride's family in order to marry said woman. But that idea is changing in China a bit. As you can see, we're buying a bottle of water from a corner store, which is very cheap. And so they save all of this money so that their next generation can have the opportunity to buy these things. What that also means is that the hopes, the dreams, the currency of an entire family is usually spent on a single member, and that single member has the responsibility to the rest of that entire family. So, this is what Chinese families will do with money. They will hoard it and they will keep it for that child to grow and to have a better life. So, what is poor? In China, I will say this: people are willing to work to live. This is called 吃苦. This literally means to eat bitter, and they have become so familiar with this idea that so many other countries have forgotten. It's that to suffer is to live, to earn money is to suffer. And it doesn't always have to be that way, but they have this idea. So in their minds, they believe that they have to work hard, to struggle, to survive. And to do that, I don't think their mentality is poor at all. So here is some chickens and ducks that I will leave you with. If you find my videos interesting, if you find it valuable for you to understand China from a different perspective, then consider subscribing to my channel, and you will definitely find that here. Thanks for watching.